Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about my most anticipated movie for this year, and that is of course Deadpool 3, starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. And I want to talk about cameos, because this movie has rumored to have tons of cameos, even more than Multiverse of Madness. And there are some things that I'm like, I really want to see, but I don't think it's going to happen because it's more of a going more of a 20th Century Fox kind of style of movie than a Marvel in general style of movie. But I think that a lot of these will be either referenced or they're actually going to appear in Deadpool 3, right? So I think that there is a lot of things in this movie that we've been waiting for, right? So let's go. Let's head into it. So number 10 for me is the 2015's Fantastic Four. I haven't seen the movie, but it would be cool if Deadpool, like we cut over to them and we see them fighting or something, and then I don't know, Ryan Reynolds says something like, "Hey, look, it's the Fantastic Four," or something like that, and it would be very funny to see, because then it's like, it can be kind of both poking fun of, like, yeah, not everything in the 20th Century Fox universe was great, and then that can kind of poke fun at some of the X-Men movies that weren't very good, like Origins or even Last Stand, even though I don't mind Last Stand. Even the 2015 Fantastic Four, right? So I think that would be fun to see. Now, number 9 for me is Tom Cruise's Iron Man. We've been waiting for this, and I think that he would be cool to see in Secret Wars. It would be very cool to see in this movie. I don't think it's going to happen in Deadpool 3, but it would be cool to see. But if they weren't going to do it, I said this on the MCU podcast that I just started out with my cousin, right? The only song that I'll be allowed for them to use if Tom Cruise is Iron Man is Danger Zone. How Iron Man had the AC/DC kind of soundtrack. If Secret Wars or whatever, whenever Tom Cruise shows up, he has a Kenny Loggins soundtrack. That would be awesome. I would love that. Now, number 8 for me is the MCU and X-Men Quicksilver. I think that they need to meet. I think that they need to meet, or they need to make some sort of reference, because in WandaVision, we had the 20th Century Fox actor from the X-Men movies, Evan Peters, play Quicksilver, and they did the whole thing of like, oh, I didn't want to use my actual self comeback, because then you'll get all the bad memories again. And then after that, it just ended up being it ended up just being a boner joke. So I think that there was some potential with that, but overall just didn't come to fruition very well, right? So I think that there's a lot of things that they can do with the MCU and even X-Men Quicksilver. And I think it would be very, very cool to see them pop up in Deadpool 3. Now, number 7 for me, this is where you get into a whole thing of like, this one is more likely not to appear, but also he would fit more with the Deadpool style of humor more. But that is, of course, Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Now, I think after No Way Home, they probably signed both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield onto a multi-picture deal. I don't think that, I mean, obviously they would had shake with Sony on it, but I don't think it's just for Secret Wars. Hugh Jackman was for Deadpool 3 and Secret Wars. But I honestly think that was the same with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. We'll get to Tobey Maguire later if he does pop up on this list, but I won't be surprised if both of them got signed onto both Deadpool 3 and Secret Wars and all that, right? There might have been something else that they got signed up on, but I think those two were no questions of like, these are setups for Secret Wars and the Multiverse Saga in general. We want to sign you guys on to make a cameo or an appearance or have some role in these movies. And I think Andrew Garfield would have been like, yeah, absolutely, I'm signed on, right? So that'll be so cool to see, and I would love to see him pop up as Spider-Man in this movie. Number 6 for me is Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine, whether if it's the one with the red tank top and spinning the swords around and stuff, or the one from the end of the movie with the blades coming out. But even though that Deadpool did shoot him at the mid-credit scene of Deadpool 2, I think that there would have been a way to bring him back. And there was actually a video coming out of I think it was 3C Films, or it was a rumor going around that would be the Deadpool trying to kill off all these characters, and Wolverine and the actual Deadpool from Deadpool 1 and 2 are trying to kill that Deadpool, but the play on the whole storyline of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, but Deadpool kills the Fox Universe is really because this other Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine is killing off these other characters because he was not beloved. And I think that would be hilarious if they did that. I think that would be so cool. And that would be an interesting play into the future of Deadpool 3 and what is going to happen, right? Now, number 5 for me, this is the only cameo that has been confirmed. And I think I wrote this before we got that report, right? But that is, of course, Jennifer Garner's Elektra. I think, even though that's not a great movie, I think that she was good as Elektra. I think that it'll be so cool to see her return. And the fact that she's confirmed to be in it, I think that is just icing on the cake. It's going to be awesome. And she definitely seems like one of the actresses that can poke fun at herself. And it'll be very cool to see what they do with that. And what they're going to do with Elektra in this movie. Either if it's just like, oh look, there's Elektra. Like, much like what they did at the end of Deadpool 2. Or that, I don't think she'll have a huge role. But it's also like, why would you have a 2-second cameo in a Deadpool movie? You either do what you did with at the end of Deadpool 2, where you had the whole, like, you're coming backwards and forth between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, or you're doing basically what you did at the end of The Flash with George Clooney. Not necessarily do the same thing where she walks out of a car and goes like, what's wrong with you? But like, that sort of thing where it's like you have that amount of screen time, where you have a decent amount, maybe you get a little bit of a fight scene, but mainly it's dialogue stuff. And I would love that. Now, connecting to that, my number 4 is Ben Affleck's Daredevil. We really need to see Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I think that he did not like the way that DC was going. So I will not be surprised that he was like, I'm going to show DC my capability is at Marvel. So even if it's a cameo and he appears as Daredevil, that would be cool. Even though that if you watch that movie, that is very, very young Ben Affleck, and he's a lot more skinnier than he is now. So they would probably have to make a larger suit for him, or so it's going to be big Daredevil, or he's going to be just Matt Murdock with the cane, and that means we just need Jon Favreau as Foggy Nelson. I would love that. I would die for that. Man, that would be so cool to see. But Ben Affleck as Daredevil would be very, very cool to see, and I would love that. Number 3 for me is the X-Men, but the first class era of the X-Men. We already know reports have already coming out and rumors have been coming out that they're already getting the original X-Men back, like James Marsden, Halle Berry, Famke Janssen. They already had Hugh Jackman on board, but unfortunately she's not on my list, but I want to see Anna Paquin. But I will not be surprised if she does return. Same with Iceman, Bobby, and Kitty Pryde. But the first class era of X-Men with James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender and Jennifer Lawrence would be so cool to see return in this movie, because that is that is where we got at least, I want to say, one of the good X-Men movies. I'm not a big fan of X-Men First Class. I don't mind Apocalypse, and I don't mind Dark Phoenix, but they're easily the weakest out of those movies. But I think that those actors did a great job in Days of Future Past, that we need to see them return for that or Secret Wars, and that'll be so cool to see. Number 2 for me, I have a feeling that they're going to be in this because it's a Fox property, and there have been rumors going around that they might appear, but that is of course the original Fantastic Four with Ian Grufford and Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. I think that would be so cool to see. I think that it would be cool to see if we just see Chris Evans and we think that Cap's returning. And we see I don't know, you can't throw back to the original Captain America or something where we see him holding on to the shield, but really it's a trash can lid and he drops it, and he makes a joke about taking out the trash, and then he sees the bell going on, he drops them, and then he goes, "Flame on!" That would be so cool. I would lose my mind if he went flame on and then started fighting alongside Deadpool and Wolverine. I would have loved that. And I think that would be so cool to see, and having Jessica Alba return, because she did not like working as Invisible Woman. I think that would be so cool to see her return. And I would love to see Ian Grufford return as Mr. Fantastic, because I think that they were the perfect... I don't think that they're going to touch those castings and those costume designs for that Fantastic Four, because that Fantastic Four was just so perfect. And I think that the MCU Fantastic Four, I want it to be good, but I will not be surprised if it's going to be good, but I'm not sold on the castings. I don't want Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman. I want Margot Robbie. I'm more sold on Adam Driver. If it was those two and you got the dude from Hunger Games, or you got someone like that, I would have been more sold on the casting. But it's Vanessa Kirby, and which she's young, but then you have Pedro Pascal, who's older, and it's like that's not who I think of when I think of the Fantastic Four. But anyway, number 1 for me, of course, is Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I would love to see Tobey return. I think that Tobey would be I think that Andrew Garfield would be more the appropriate Spider-Man to interact with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. But I think that Tobey Maguire, it would be so cool for him to pop up in this to pay off that X-Men Wolverine cameo that was going to happen in the original Spider-Man but never happened. So I think to pay that off, that would be more appropriate for Wolverine than Andrew Garfield. So guys, that is my top 10 cameos that I want to see happen in Deadpool 3. So guys, please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Hit subscribe, also the little bell icon to get notified of future videos. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.